Hi, fellow traders. What's happening? I hope you guys had a great day today. Well, this earnings market is finally waking up for me. We had a pretty decent day today. Hopefully we can finish the week halfway. If the rest of the week is halfway as strong as today, I'll be happy with that. That's all I'm looking for. But we'll talk about that in the trades here in a few. But I want to share this quote from you. Don't fear failure, but be terrified of regret. And it's a quote by Deshauna Barber. I think she was the 2016 Miss USA. And it's a very, very powerful quote. Because a lot of us don't get involved in things that can uplift us, that can pull us out of the life that we're living now into our abundant life, because we fear failure. We're scared to fail at something because of how bad it feels. But if you realize that every time you fail forward, you're going to grow and you're going to achieve whatever goals you're trying to achieve. But you want to be terrified of regret. You want to be scared of regretting not to do something, because that's going to keep you driving. All right, that's going to keep you driving forward. That's where we want to be. We want to continue to move forward, continue to learn, continue to grow, and don't let failure take you away from any of your hopes and dreams. Don't fear it. But be terrified of the regret that you're going to feel if you don't take that chance. All right, so again, Monday, we're starting to own the change, our 30-day refocus challenge. A lot of us need this refocus. After everything that we've been through these last couple of months, this first quarter, and we need to refocus. And we need to drill down on the things that we need to improve in order for us to get better. So the question I want you to ask yourself, are you ready to commit to the new trader in you? You have to be willing to commit to it. You have to be willing to trust what I'm saying is what you're going to need in order to get to the next level. Okay? I'm not selling you any extra stuff. I'm not trying to get anything out of you. I just want you to understand that I've been down that road that you're traveling. I've been where you are. And I know what it takes to get to the other side. I've got that roadmap to success laid out for you. A lot of people having a hard time trusting it, sticking to it, doing what it takes, and even overcomplicating. It's really, really simple. Okay, the hardest thing you're going to have to deal with and work on is you. A lot of these strategies are really simple, but in our minds, we complicate it because we can't believe something that's so simple can make so much money. But it is. But going forward, you're gonna have to be ready to commit to that new trader in you. Remember, we are starting Monday in the community. We're gonna have something that I'm gonna introduce. Right now, it's looking like I'm gonna do it first thing in the morning, and I'm gonna share it. Also in the afternoon. So if you missed the morning, you'll be able to catch it in the afternoon. All right, so I really want you guys, if you need this focus, and you need to readjust some of and retighten some of the screws in your trading, you want to join in on us. And I gave you last week, I told you about this book, The Power of Habit. A lot of you picked it up. A lot of you found it online for free and downloaded it. But we're going to be working through a lot of that. And there's a couple books I'm going to share with you that a lot of what I have I pulled from these books because they're really powerful and they really coincide with everything that I learned as a teacher. I had to go through a lot of professional development as a teacher. A lot of it dealt with the psychology of teaching, the psychology of learning, and it all coincides with that. So look forward to that. I'm going to keep reminding you it's coming. So if you've been out of the room for a while, you want to make your way back and join in on this. All right, so today, remember we were talking about this 285.54 level. This is actually yesterday's close. I wasn't going to draw another level on top of that, but it pretty much lines up with the level that we were talking about, our line in the sand, and how this was where we bounced back at the end of February. We tested it a couple times here, finally broke through. We tested it 3 times yesterday and could not fall through it. And so this morning we woke up to a gap up and a strong day. Again, I really believe we're going to see 300 by the end of the week, unless something major comes up. And the market's been hit with a lot of stuff, a lot of bad negative job claims, negative retail numbers, but it's still strong. It's still holding up. So we may see 300, and we may break through the 200 and the 100-day moving averages. But at least we will see 300. I think we will reject here and give ourselves a little pullback, but at least the market is looking really, really good. So may make me look like a fortune teller here, but that's not it. It's all technical analysis, 100% technical analysis, understanding support and resistance, understanding supply zones. You know, it's all a part of that. And that's really what I try to teach you guys every day, is don't complicate things. All you got to learn how to do is read the candlesticks. Your eyes are your number one indicator here. So really interesting to see what happens with this, with the SPY tomorrow. All right, so the first trade we took this morning was on AMD. Number one, I was late getting in this, so I can't really blame the strategy on this. I have to blame myself, because I was so late getting in that I couldn't take profit where I should have or could have taken profit, and ended up stopping out. But I was just, I don't know why. I mean, I woke up late this morning, number one. I overslept by 2 hours. And it just seemed like I was way behind here at the beginning of the day, as you'll see. But not a bad loss. Number one, I was trying to get in with 500 shares, and I only got in with 200 shares. So I thought I saw 5, but it was only 2. And it never really gave me a good chance to add back. So we just let that one go. So that was a bad trade right there. So we moved over to Microsoft. This was another one that was on our watch list. It was reporting earnings after market, which this is only half of the story. You see, we traded Microsoft here in the morning, then after market. So I've got another trade on this. So this is only half of the story. Now you can see Microsoft had a nice opening range breakout right here. I know it was just one candle, but look at the room that candle had. Then we pulled back, and I got the trend continuation off of the 9. Textbook trend continuation, and just started hitting targets. But guess what? I accidentally bought. I was trying to get out half, and I ended up buying and adding a half a position. So I ended up having to take it off again. So that's why you see 2 buy orders here. I instead of selling half, I hit cover half and added to my position, and it actually popped up when I bought. So I got a lot better exit here. So I ended up taking it off, and we could not push this 175 level, and we started to come back in. So I went ahead and took it off, and you could see what happened. I would have been stopped out at break even anyway, and I never remounted this thing. The entry, and as I told you guys, the entry wasn't here. You know, it wasn't here. The entry on this was over this 175.19 level. So this should have been the entry on this. Now, yeah, if you wanted to scalp, yeah, take some quick scalp moves here. 6, 40, 50 cents. 40, 50 cents. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an extended move, and you have to be patient and wait and catch this. Now, I didn't take this because I was already in another trade, but this is 100% trend continuation. You could have stayed locked into this all day and made some pretty decent money on it. So this was a decent trade here. Trend continuation, because we missed the opening range breakout, which would have been really solid. BA was our next trade. BA did not set up for a opening range breakout or breakdown. You can see here's the opening range high, but you had too many levels of resistance. So there was no setup here. Whenever you have something sitting in your face, you do not take this on an opening range breakout. There's no setup. And so you see what happened. If you bought on the break, you got stuff right here. As soon as you took it, this is right in your face. Got slammed back down. And so we waited. And I told you, the breakout, I mean, you had to wait for the setup. No trades over this under this level. So once we broke over this candle closed, I jumped in. I was about 25, 30 cents late on this. Again, looking at something else. One thing about me, if I'm in the chat room and I'm working, I'm talking to other people, I'm looking at something else somebody wanted me to check out, I may miss my entries. And so I accept that. That's part of the deal. So I missed it by a few cents here, but still had enough room to take profit here. It's not what I look for. I look for a bigger move than that. But had I got in when I was supposed to, this would have been perfect. So I got out here on this level, and we held on. This dipped, but it didn't take me out. This was like one of those flash crashes that just dips down and comes right back up. And so never even had a chance to take my stop. And this thing built back up. Next stop was the 20-day. And this moved all day long. This actually crept up as the day went on. So when I took this off, this is where the 20-day was. But I adjusted it later on in the day, because I was looking for a move off of this, but did not take it. This is another nice trend continuation that if you took it here, you really didn't have enough room. If you bought it down here, you would have been anticipating, because we never got a candle to close back above this level. So really the trade wasn't until we broke out over 144.50. That would have been the trade there. But Really nice trade here. This was my final target, so I took it all off here. I wasn't going to hold it and see how far we could go and all of that. This just isn't the market for it. So completed that trade and brought that profit home. So now we're looking at aftermarket earnings. So today in the class, I introduced another strategy that you could use for aftermarket earnings. And guess what? It's all it is a trend continuation strategy. The same one that we trade intraday, the same one that we trade pre-market. It's the trend continuation. It's that simple. And what we do, the first one that I taught you guys, now that's the first one is the most lucrative. You make the most money off of it. But as they say, with great reward comes great risk. Or with great risk comes great reward, however you want to say it. This one is a little bit more riskier. You have to put in a little bit more work. You have to do your research. You have to figure out where the company is going to report guidance. And basically, you're doing your research and establishing your own guidance. Unless you're lucky and the company puts it out ahead of time or kind of gives you clues on news articles. Most of the time, you have to figure in your head that, hey, they've got this and going on, so they will probably report good guidance. And it's probably going to gap up, or the guidance is going to be bad and it's going to gap down. Because all we're doing is looking for what's going to happen 6 to 8 months from now. That's what's going to react on the market when earnings are announced. And that's all we're looking for. So this strategy, you wait for it to announce a report. And a lot of times you get a pull. If it goes up, you get a pullback. If it goes down, you get a bounce into support. And once it lifts off that support, if you're long, you just take the trend continuation back up. You're just following the direction that initial candle did on the hit. This was up, we're going up. So the reason why you see all of these sells and buys here is because I did it again. Instead of me selling at my first target, I actually bought half. Instead of hitting the sell half button, I hit the buy half button, and I actually added half size to my position. And so I had to turn around and sell half. And that's where this disparage came from. It actually was a big spread at the time when I had to get back out, but that's fine. And then I took some more off up here. And then once we got through 183, I covered some. Got through this 184.20 level, I covered some. And I was going to hold the last piece on to see if we got to the 52-week high, which is around 190.70. There was another level at 188.18 as well. So, but it never did get over this 106.50, and we came back in. And once we lost the 9, I went ahead and took it off. But you typically trade this the same way you trade the trend continuation. But you can't walk away. You have to be focused, because I don't know if you can set stops in other brokers, but I know the ones that I use, you cannot set a stop loss that will work aftermarket or pre-market. So you have to be there ready, either with a hotkey or have your montage loaded so that you could take it off if it doesn't work, or you can take profit if it hits. Now, sometimes I like to put my orders out there, but a couple of times my orders have been skipped over. They didn't fill. They just actually blew past my order, and I had to come back, cancel the order, and then do it again. So I just typically sit there with my hot button where I could and point and click with my mouse. And that's pretty much all I do, because you got to have limit orders. What I do is I have, if I'm going to buy, my order, my hot button is going to hit the bid. Hit the ask, I'm sorry. If I'm going to buy, it's going to hit the ask, so it'll fill immediately. If I'm selling, it's going to hit the bid so that it could sell immediately. And that's all I need. But we'll be doing this more often aftermarket. I didn't want to do it or share it until I can commit to being there to work through this with you. I've been doing this forever. This is another one of these strategies that I told you I know that you can make money off of, but you have to learn how to trade. And I can't share but so much with you until you learn how to trade. And there's so many things that you can do off those 3 basic strategies that I teach. And one of them I rarely trade. The reversals I rarely trade. But the opening range, breakout or breakdown, the trend continuation, they're there. And you could use variations of them on different strategies, different setups. And that's what I can teach. And that's what's on deck. You just have to get the basics and the fundamentals down pat, and you're good to go. All right, so today we finished 10-14-58. Not bad. We had 16 tickets, but it's a lot of scaling out. That's all it was. And I accidentally went in, added to my position twice. And so that's why I just scaled out a lot more. So more tickets, but it wasn't that we overtraded. It was just the fact that I just added when I really shouldn't have, and then it allowed me to take more covers, scale out more because I had more position size. So not bad of a day here. Now, let me tell you, I was juiced. I did this same setup on Tesla. Tesla reported earnings today. No way in hell am I going to get in and try to figure out where Tesla's going to go at the hit. Never going to do that. So I waited for Tesla to announce. Once it announced and things settled in and we showed that we were going to bounce, I got in 100 shares, and I'm telling you, I was so shocked that I messed up my cover. I was trying to do the order for 50 shares, didn't verify that I had 50, and it was 100. I think I initially put it out and forgot to check extended hours. So I had to redo the order again, forgot to put 50 on it, and ended up killing the whole position. But imagine if I had left 50 shares on and scaled out 25 and 25 like I wanted to. This would have been a killer day. I could have easily made $5,000 on this trade, trading 100 shares. That's the power of Tesla. But not too many people can trade Tesla with, 100 shares. But even 50 shares, if you could have traded it with 50 shares, 25 shares would have paid decent. But you have to be able to deal with the swings that Tesla has. Look at the ATR. Almost $20 average range on these. You know, you're going to have to be in a size that you can deal with this. But really, really nice. I mean, I was kind of excited and trying to cover and just, you know, got out of whack. I don't typically trade Tesla, so, you know, this is new for me. And I know once I get used to trading it and once I get used to this Thinkorswim platform, you know, I'm still trying to learn every day how to make this thing work. I'm going to get better. But really, really nice. Nice on Tesla. I traded a channel break on it earlier today. But, I mean, that was pretty good. You know, I was able to scale out twice. I wanted to do the same thing here, but just couldn't get it. But again, all this was, we're looking for the trend to continue. Looking for the stock to trade the way it's trending. Back the way it was trending. And so a trend continuation trade is basically what it was. And let me see. There's one. Didn't I trade this? Hold on one second. Oh. So we traded this this morning. This is a 1 hour chart. Let me go to the 5-minute chart. This was the pre-market trade. Right here. Again, trend continuation. We buy it on the continuation here. Take profit along the way. We buy it again. We take profit along the way. And we're out right before the close. So we locked in significant money before the close. And then here, all we did was just trade trend continuation. That's it. That's all you got to do all day. That's all you got to do all day. And if you can only trade a couple hours, then you focus those couple hours on what you do. But like I said, I'm learning how to trade with this Thinkorswim. Got to learn how to build the buttons so that I can kind of have it set up like my DOS platform, and then we can go to work. All right, so that's going to do it for us today. That's all I got for you. So you guys have a great night, and we'll get back at this tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a couple more good earnings trades, a couple more, another opening trade, another aftermarket earnings trade. I'm just from here on out, for the near future, I'm just going to trade after the announcement, because everybody's pulling their guidance, and it's just making it to where I don't have an edge trying to trade the gap. So we'll just move on, and if you hang out every day and chat, you'll get to see it every afternoon. So you guys have a great night, and I will see you in the morning.